New Year! What a great time to take a moment and say thank you to all of you who have been purchasing flutes from us over the years and over 2019. We appreciate you so much. We appreciate all your patience as we fine-tuned the shop and fine-tuned ourselves as flute makers here at Wood Sounds and reduced greatly the delivery times that it takes for us to produce flutes for you. We're very excited about it. 2019 was very much for us a year of turning around, of taking and rebuilding and restructuring, and we're super excited about that as we're heading into the decade of abundance, and so excited that 2020 launches that decade of abundance. And so we'll be doing a lot of fun things in 2020. I'm very excited to talk to you about them. But before we go there, I want to talk about just a few things that happened in 2019, kind of recap. In 2019, we had 5 flutes of the month that were designed and produced. They were Gratitude, Walking a Tightrope. That was in February. We then had Life, which was in April. Shamanic Dreams in August, or Guardian, Matriarch of the Sea, which was our flute of the month in October, and Generations, the flute of the month for December 2019. So those were the 5 flutes we were able to do this year as flutes of the month. I may be relabeling the name of flutes of the month. I don't know, because it's getting a flute out every month and designing one and putting all the time and energy that we do, because it's not just me. I incorporate the entire shop in the creation of what we're doing for Flutes of the Month. There's a lot of intention that's put into each design, and so we may be changing that name a little bit, but I don't know. I may just leave it as Flutes of the Month too, just because it's kind of ironic. So we'll see. Other things that we did, legendary flutes. Oh my gosh, I am so excited about these 2 flutes that we made this last year. We made the Honduran Rosewood Root Burrow flute that called Unity, had the eagle on it flying towards the sun. An absolutely lovely instrument, played so beautifully. We also made the Cocopelli flute out of the water rose. Again, a gorgeous instrument. That was the very first flute that I've done silver casting on, and we're expecting to do more silver work and other metal works over this 2020. It's going to be a lot of fun. In fact, in the shop, one of the things that was so exciting for me in 2019 was when we began using metals like copper and silver and gold in our flute inlays. And I discovered some ways of doing this that really are just magnificent. In person, they're way more beautiful than they are on the internet. In fact, this flute has a little bit of copper inlay and some silver inlay here. And in pictures, it will be really hard to see that inlay well. And I've really been baffled about this, and I finally came to the conclusion that we get a twinkle from the metal when we see it with 2 eyes, because we catch different reflections with each eye. And so when you only see it with 1 eye, you don't get that additional point of view and reference point, and so the metal ends up kind of blending in, when in reality it's just so fabulous. So I really like that new media. I'm very much enjoying doing some mixed media, and we're going to be doing some really outrageous things for the very first flute of the month in that regard. So that'll be a lot of fun. The other new flutes that we created this year, we created the Suzanne Tang signature flute. It actually was a flute that was about 2 years in production in terms of the design. It really, I'd made it the first, I guess, I introduced it in 2018 at the Solstice Flute School in June, and I just wasn't convinced that I had the right design nailed down. And the fact was, we just didn't do the inlay work that flute needed. And so it wasn't until 2019 that I began experimenting with the inlays that we used in Suzanne's new signature flute. It really took that additional time to be able to consolidate the concept, the designs, and all of it into a cohesive signature flute. and I'm very, very excited about it. We're going to be doing more signature flutes in 2020, and we'll be excited to introduce those to you with artists like Joy Harjo and so on. So very exciting in signature flutes. On the website, I've been doing some things on the website recently that I think are going to be valuable in terms of content for my clients. This last year, we introduced the Why Wood Sounds page on the Wood Sounds website. On this page, I tried to list out everything I could think of that we do with every flute to attempt to make it the very, very best possible instrument that we're capable of creating. Something that's going to last for generations and provide great, great joy and for people. And so that Why Wood Sounds page talks about those things. It's not a great sales page. It's really a page where it's just a list right now, but it's got great information on it, and I think it'll be worth taking a look at. Another new page that's coming out, in fact, I'm introducing it on this newsletter, and that's the free tab page. Super excited about this. This page is going to contain tablature that is free for people to utilize. Its purpose is to enhance and add a little bit of breadth of music and opportunities for people in the Native American flute community. Now, to understand the free tabs page and the music that's there, you need to understand that most of the music that was posted on the free tabs page currently is music that I created for my own personal use. So currently, some of it's pretty rough. The music is there, you know, the fingering's there and things, but the tab isn't necessarily there exactly. So there's some rough spots in it, but it's a start. It's a start in a new direction that I'm really excited about. I'm anticipating on also having tablature that you can purchase and download on the website. Things like the Wood Sounds Duet book, the second Wood Sounds Duet book, which hasn't been yet released, but will be soon. And perhaps other musicians' music that we might sell there as well. So it's a fun and exciting new direction that we're going here, and the free part of it is really important to me because I feel like there's just opportunities that we have to give back to the community and to provide just a little bit of ourselves that can be of value to other people that they may find useful in their own lives and however they like to use it. So that's the purpose of this free tab music. Let's see, what else is new? Okay, let's talk about the studio itself, making the flutes. We have done lots of things this last year that have really coalesced and allowed us, as I said earlier, to be able to make our flutes in a more timely fashion and allowed us to get caught up on our backlogs and to be able to not only do all of that, but to be making flutes that are of a quality that is higher than frankly anything I've ever seen before. The feel of the instrument in my hand now is just almost unbelievable. And the sound is just spectacular. There's a lot of different things that have come together to make this quality and this timing things come together in a really good way. One of the things that we did this last year is I added some equipment that allows us to measure our breath pressure as we're playing the flute so that we can tune the flute to a constant breath pressure. Prior to this, in 2009, we began tuning the flutes to a constant breath pressure. To do that, I would simply hold a note constant. I'd find and I'd tune it at that pressure, and I'd go from the fundamental to whatever note I was tuning. And I'd get the same breath pressure and go right to the next note to tune it and go all the way up the flute. And it worked okay. It was pretty good. And honestly, I thought it worked fantastic. And the reality was something quite different. It turned out that when we measured our breath pressure while we're tuning the flute and hold it to a constant pressure, and we've determined to hold our breath pressure constant on our flutes at 10 microbars of pressure. So all of the flutes since April of 2019 have been tuned to a 10 microbar constant breath pressure. And that did a lot of things that I didn't expect. I thought it would simply be an instructional tool. I really felt that it was a training tool. This was something I'd use when I was training someone else on how to tune flutes. And And the reality was quite different than that. It turned out to be just, wow. So the first flute I picked up after we played it, when I heard it, it just sounded so much more, and it was so enveloping and just warm and holding me in a beautiful way. And I thought, oh my gosh, wow. And honestly, I think it was a Cedar Classic. It was not a fancy flute. It was just our run-of-the-mill classic flute. And I thought, you got to be kidding me. What is going on? And all of the flutes that we had just finished had that same tonal quality to it. And I couldn't figure it out. And finally, I got out the tuner and I went through the tuning on it, and the tuning was impeccable, absolutely impeccable. And what I believed happened that made it sound better was that when we brought the intonation of each note closer and closer, and we were very close into pitch, but bringing it even closer and closer, and bringing the tolerance of what we hold the pitch to be at a specific breath pressure, bringing that tolerance down, made the resonance of the flute so much bigger. So it's something that you just got to experience. It's hard to talk about over the phone, but hard to talk about over a video, but in person, it's really remarkable. So that was one of the things that it did. Another thing that it did was when we make double flutes, our double flutes are so well tuned together now because both flutes are tuned at 10 microbars of breath pressure. So the intonation of the double flute and the two flutes together now is absolutely impeccable. It's so beautiful. And the third thing that it did is every single flute that we're making is tuned to the same breath pressure. There's some other things that we've done in the studio that have really made things better for us here in the shop. One of them is an air filtration system that filters out the air in the shop, and we run that now all day long, and it is awesome. It moves gobs and gobs of air, and things are just so much cleaner. So the health of the people creating your instruments is going to be from here on out much better because of that. That's really exciting to me. When I started hiring people, one of the things that I wanted to just absolutely ensure is that I took every possible step I could think of that would help ensure that people would not go home missing fingers or body parts, or getting hurt in the job because of it being set up in a poor way. And that's so the air cleanliness is something that's very, very important to us. And the last thing that we've done in the studio is fine-tuned the Easy Clean mouthpiece. The Easy Clean mouthpiece, I believe, is going to prove to be one of the great innovations for the Native American flute, to be able to get in and clean out the slow air chamber easily without any problems, is just really powerful. It's a powerful tool. That Easy Clean can be made to fit pretty much any flute that we would want to put it on. So it's a really good option if you're very much into keeping your instruments clean. Obviously, because of its cost, it's not something that you do on every flute, but certainly flutes of a great value, or if they have if you need a side blow on them or something like that, then that's another great place to use them. All of these wonderful things that we've been able to accomplish in 2019 would not have happened without your support, and without all your positive words of encouragement and kind words of compliments regarding the artistry of the instruments that we make. We appreciate you so very much. We talk about you all the time. You're part of our family, and we thank you. Happy New Year for 2020. We hope it's a really wonderful year for you.